So today we'll take trauma from occlusion. The effects of occlusal forces on periodontium is influenced by 4 factors. Okay, so first is the magnitude, second is the direction, third is the duration, and fourth is the frequency. The magnitude means basically is the how much force is acting on the tooth when there is basically the masticatory forces. So if there is increased magnitude, there is we can see more periodontal changes. Then the direction of the force. So normal masticatory forces ഏത് ഡയറക്ഷനിലായിരിക്കും? കൂടുതലും ഏത് ഡയറക്ഷനിലായിരിക്കും? It will be in the along the long axis of the tooth. Periodontium is able to resist forces which are along the long axis of the tooth. Lateral forces and rotational forces, the periodontium is not able to resist it properly. There is more chances of periodontal injury. And third is duration. So duration can be short duration or long duration. Periodontium A type of short duration forces are resistant, but long duration.
Short duration adjust.
Short duration forces are better resistant. Long duration forces are periodontium will not be able to resist that much. So there may be more chances of periodontal injury. Duration, then next is frequency. Single forces are multiple intermittent forces are caudal injuries. Frequencies koravaanengi forces are better resisted. Frequency caudal aanengi there is more chances of periodontal injury. Okay. 4 factors affect the effect of occlusal forces on the periodontium: magnitude, direction, duration, and
frequency.
Definitions. First is of trauma of occlusion. When the occlusal forces exceeds the adaptive capacity of periodontium, tissue injury results. The resultant injury is known as trauma of occlusion, traumatism, or occlusal trauma. And the occlusion which produces such injury is known as traumatic occlusion. Okay, so രണ്ട് term ഉണ്ട്, trauma of occlusion പിന്നെ traumatic occlusion. രണ്ടിൽ ഡിഫറൻസ് എന്താ? Traumatic occlusion is basically injury to the periodontium, which is caused by traumatic occlusion. So the occlusion which produces trauma of occlusion is known as
Traumatic occlusion.
Okay, so trauma of occlusion is basically injury to the periodontium. And the occlusion which produces this injury is known as
Traumatic occlusion.
The role of malocclusion in trauma of occlusion. So malocclusion as such may not produce trauma of occlusion. Malocclusion there may not be trauma of occlusion. Okay. Only in cases of malocclusion, when the occlusal forces exceeds the adaptive capacity of the periodontium, there is trauma of occlusion. So not all malocclusion cases there is trauma of occlusion. Clear or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like types of trauma of occlusion. trauma of occlusion can be classified as acute and chronic trauma of occlusion. Can also be classified as primary and secondary trauma of occlusion. Now, acute trauma of occlusion. It is caused by abrupt occlusion impact hitting a hard object or new restorations of prosthetic appliances. Clinical features may be toothache, sensitivity to percussion, and increased tooth mobility. Okay, so acute means in the short duration, it will be painful. Main cause is sudden changes in the occlusal forces, but that may be due to sudden biting on any hard food items, hard objects or food item. Stones food or suddenly bite either, there can be acute trauma of occlusion or restoration, amalgam restoration, high fillings patient will come back with pain. So that is known as acute trauma of occlusion. So new restorations or prosthetic appliances that interfere with the occlusion, that may also cause the acute trauma of occlusion. Now, outcomes of acute trauma of occlusion. Traumatic forces relieve or the tooth moves to a different position. Under possibility, either the occlusion forces high fillings reduce the occlusion forces is removed, or the tooth moves to a different position. So in that case, the periodontium returns to normal. Okay. Or second possibility in the occlusion forces is, the occlusive forces is not removed, then there will be necrosis of periodontal ligament and periodontal abscess formation. Third possibility, again, if the traumatic forces is not removed, acute trauma of occlusion changes into chronic trauma of occlusion. Second is chronic trauma of occlusion. So as the name suggests, in the duration is long duration. It is more commonly seen when there is a gradual occlusal changes resulting from tooth wear, drifting of teeth, and extrusion, which are usually combined with parafunctional habits like bruxism and clenching. So bruxism, there may be increased occlusal force over a long period of time. So this produces changes in the periodontium, injury to the periodontium, which is known as chronic trauma. Then trauma of occlusion can also be classified as primary and secondary trauma of occlusion. Primary difference in the primary and secondary, main difference is the periodontal support available, or whether the tooth is affected by periodontitis or not. The trauma of occlusion occur in periodontium which is not compromised, or if there is no attachment loss, if there is no periodontitis, it is known as primary trauma of occlusion. The trauma of occlusion occur in periodontium which is compromised, there is attachment loss periodontitis, then that type of trauma of occlusion is known as secondary trauma of occlusion. So primary trauma of occlusion occurs in when there is no attachment loss. So there may it may be caused by insertion of high filling, insertion of prosthetic replacement that creates excessive forces on abutment and antagonist teeth. Then drifting movement or extrusion of teeth into spaces created by unreplaced missing teeth. Orthodontic movement of teeth into functionally unacceptable positions. So in all these cases, the periodontium is healthy, but there is increased occlusal force. Clear or not? This type of trauma of occlusion which occur in healthy periodontium, it is known as primary trauma of occlusion. Basically, three situations. First is high fillings and prosthetic replacement which impinges on the occlusion. Second is unreplaced missing teeth, and then pathological migration, drifting of teeth or extrusion of teeth. So these teeth are in different position and there may be increased occlusive forces. Then orthodontic movement, similarly, if the teeth is moved into position where the occlusive forces is increased, this can also lead to primary trauma of occlusion. Now secondary trauma of occlusion. If there is injury to the periodontium due to increased forces, there is trauma of occlusion. Here in A, it is a healthy periodontium. There is no attachment loss. So if injury occurs in this type of periodontium, it is known as
Primary trauma.
Yeah, primary trauma of occlusion. B and C. In B, there
Loss of attachment there.
Yes, loss of attachment with gingival recession. Okay. C also there is loss of attachment, but instead of recession there is pocket formation.
Pocket formation.
Yeah, pocket formation. So in B and C, if there is injury to the periodontium, it may be either due to occlusive forces or normal forces, masticatory forces may exceed the adaptive capacity of the periodontium. Even the normal forces may exceed the adaptive capacity of the periodontium. So if there is a injury to the periodontium, it is known as, in the B and C, it is known as
secondary trauma from occlusion.
Yeah, secondary trauma of occlusion. But clear on the log. Acute trauma of occlusion, chronic trauma of occlusion, primary trauma of occlusion, and
secondary trauma of
occlusion. Now, stages of trauma of occlusion. Stages can be divided into 3 stages. Stage 1 is the stage of injury. Stage 2 is the repair stage. In stage 3 is adaptive remodeling of the periodontium. Now first stage is stage of injury. Now tissue injury is produced by excessive occlusal forces. So normally occlusive forces, normal occlusive force exceeds there will be injury. Then second stage will be repair. Body will try to repair the periodontium. calling it a chronic anangi. There is remodeling of the pedontium to cushion the effect. That is the third stage. Now, stage of injury in the sambhavikana. When there is increased occlusive forces to rotate. So this rotation can happen. Anterior teeth are single rooted teeth. Rotation, fulcrum of rotation is middle and apical teeth. While in multi-rooted teeth, the fulcrum of rotation is the interradicular bone. Okay, fulcrum of rotation means so it's the point around which the tooth is may rotate.
Rotate.
Forces. So on one side of the rotation fulcrum, there may be areas where there is pedontal ligament, there is pressure. On other side of the fulcrum, there will be in the pedontal ligament, there will be pedontal ligament fibers may be stressed. So there is area of tension. So areas of pressure and tension are seen on the opposite side of the fulcrum. Clear now?
Sir, clear.
Okay, so there will be fulcrum of rotation. Anterior teeth anangi, it is a single rooted teeth. It is between middle and apical third of the root. Multi-rooted teeth anangi, it is the middle of the interradicular bone. So there is increased forces. We will see in the pedontal ligament areas of pressure. When the pressure means in the root will be trying to press against the pedontal ligament or on the alveolar bone. So the pedontal ligament is compressed in the pressure areas. Tension areas in the root will try to get away from the bone, alveolar bone. So the pedontal ligament fibers are stressed. Okay. Pressure area, tension area, different changes are on size slight pressure anangi. We see resorption of alveolar bone and widening of the pedontal ligament space. Slightly excessive tension areas. There is elongation of fibers and apposition of alveolar bone. Okay. So changes are seen in the pedontal ligament. Pressure or region resorption of the alveolar bone and widening of the pedontal ligament space. Tension also
elongation of periodontal fibers, apposition of alveolar.
Yes. Elongation of pedontal ligament fibers and apposition of alveolar bone.
Alveolar bone.
In areas of increase pressure is increase cheyidondirna,
Blood vessel constrictor.
there will be more pressure. So areas of increased pressure, the blood vessels are numerous and reduced in number. Areas of increased tension, they are enlarged. Now, greater pressure produces gradation of changes in the pedontal ligament. We can see areas of hyalinization and areas of necrosis in the pedontal ligament. Then increased resorption of alveolar bone and the tooth surface. Bone is either resorbed by viable pedontal ligament cells or by undermining resorption. Normally, resorption in pedontal ligament space, it is which cells are involved? Which pedontal ligament cells are involved? Or which cells are involved?
Osteoclast.
Osteoclast are involved. osteoclasts which line the bone surface. Which line the bone surface. When the forces are not mild or moderate, or resorption takes place in the surface of the bone. Bone surface like osteoclast. Okay, so resorption happens in the bone surface. ഒത്തിരി കൂടുതൽ ഫോഴ്സസ് ആണെങ്കിൽ എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കുന്നത്? There is process. Cells make the surface cells may be non-viable. So in these cases, the resorption happens in the
matrix of bone marrow matrix.
Yeah, it takes place from the beneath. Okay, not from the surface, but in the bone marrow. So osteoclasts present in the bone marrow, they resorb the bone. This type of resorption is known as undermining. Clear or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, slight to moderate pressure aanangi resorption of happens in the surface. Utri caudal pressure aanangi the periodontal ligament may become non-vital. So resorption happens in undermining way from the bone marrow. Now, areas of periodontium that are most susceptible to injury from excessive occlusive forces are the furcation region. Okay, multi-rooted tooth trauma for occlusion undangi. Most susceptible areas furcations. Furcation region. Now, next stage is the stage of repair. For any body part, if there is injury, then if the etiology is removed, the body tries to repair itself. So normally, normal periodontium okay kainya thanne, normal repair process is going on continuously. But trauma for occlusion in them, it is increased because there are lot of injury has already happened. So repair process is increased. In the repair process, injured tissues are removed and new tissues are formed. എവിടെയൊക്കെ ചേഞ്ചസ് കാണാം റിപ്പയർ സ്റ്റേജിൽ എവിടെയൊക്കെ ചേഞ്ചസ് വരും? So injury has happened in the periodontal ligament space. So there may be necrosed periodontal ligament fibers. So those fibers are removed and new fibers are formed. These cells are changed. Periodontal ligament.
Fibroblasts.
Yeah, fibroblasts are involved in the both the deposit in the repair process. Then the bone noki kaiya
Resorption.
Remodeling.
Remodeling. Okay, remodeling. So in the injury stage, resorption of bone has happened. So repair, and there again there will be formation of
Newborn.
okay.
Newborn formation.
So overall, there is an increased reparative activity. So when bone is resorbed by excessive occlusal forces, the body attempts to reinforce the thin bony trabecula with new bone. This attempt to compensate for lost bone is called buttressing bone formation. Buttressing bone formation occurs within the jaw. Then it is known as central buttressing. If it occurs on the bone surface, it is known as peripheral buttressing. Clear or not?
Sir.
So normal or pattern ഉണ്ട് bony pattern little bone pattern ഉണ്ട് that can resist the normal forces. If forces increase ആയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ the bone try to reconfigure the bony trabecula so as to best resist the increased forces. Okay, forces best resist ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയുള്ള patterns automatically undam. These patterns occur in the center of the bone. It is known as
Central buttressing.
central buttress. If it occur on the bone surface, it is known as
Peripheral buttress.
peripheral buttressing. Okay. Now, peripheral buttressing may produce a shelf-like thickening of the alveolar margin, which is referred as lipping, or it may manifest as pronounced bulge in the contour of the facial and lingual surface. Peripheral aningi that we can observe directly. Central buttressing aningi we cannot observe directly. Flap raise cheyda kayinjal thanne central buttressing we can see. But if you raise a flap, we can actually see the peripheral buttressing. There are two types. So shelf-like thickening of the alveolar margin, which is known as
Lipping.
or there may be generalized pronounced bulge in the contour of the facial or lingual bone. Okay. Lipping anangi localized, shelf-like thickening of the alveolar margin. Bulge anangi is more generalized. Okay. So this occur in the surface. It is known as peripheral buttressing. Clear or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now this is a histological section showing peripheral buttressing. The left side there is thickening of the buccal plate. Okay. Here there is only shelf-like thickening of the alveolar margin. Okay, so here it is thin. Only the alveolar margin is thickened. Okay, it is known as this type of thickening only of the alveolar margin is known as
Lipping.
lipping. Yeah, lipping. Now, third stage is adaptive remodeling. If repair process cannot keep pace with tissue injury, the periodontium is remodeled. When the cause is not removed, high filling high filling is not selective grinding or occlusion, grind the forces are still there, but the periodontium will try to adapt to the forces. Adaptive, there will be widened periodontal ligament space. Periodontal ligament become funnel shaped. Funnel shaped with a crest, and angular defects in the bone may be seen without pocket formation. So it's important, without pocket formation. First is widening of the periodontal ligament space, which is more at the crest. Crest towards coronally kudalaayirikkum, apically koravaayirikkum. So it is known as funnel shaped type of widening, and formation of angular defects. Okay. Difference in the angular defect in trauma of occlusion and angular defect in periodontal disease. Periodontitis, angular defect in periodontitis, and trauma of occlusion. Yeah. So in periodontitis, there will be also be attachment loss and pocket formation. In case of trauma of occlusion, there is no attachment loss and there is no pocket formation. There is just angular bone loss. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So due to this changes, the tooth become loose. Tooth become mobile. So periodontal ligament or thickness, normal thickness, the small mobility normal because of presence of periodontal ligament. If this thickness is increased, tooth will become more mobile, pathologically mobile. After adaptive remodeling of the periodontium, tissue destruction and formation returns to normal. Okay. So as we have discussed, tissue destruction formation is normal process, normal periodontium without trauma of occlusion also. There is always the tissue destruction formation going on, but this process is balanced. Okay. First stage of injury, there is increased tissue destruction as compared to formation. So balance is shifted towards tissue destruction. Clear or not? Second stage, repair stage, balance is shifted to formation. Destruction there is more tissue formation. Third stage, again the changes, there is a balance. Tissue destruction returns to normal. Clear or not?
Sir,
Yes,
last
sir.
ഒന്നുകൂടെ പറഞ്ഞു തരുമോ?
Normally, the diagram normally the serrated it is bone resorption or tissue destruction. Bone resorption. Straight line it is bone formation. Normal both are balanced, equal. Clear or not?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So either serrated line straight line same amount under. So some places the resorption, bone resorption is balanced by bone deposition. That happens in
Formation.
normal periodontium. Okay, normally the happens all continuously happens. Okay, first stage of trauma of occlusion, serrations increased. Okay, so bone resorption is increased while bone formation remains the same. Bone resorption is increased.
Increased.
Line molotu boy, serrated line molotu boy. Bone formation tarotu boy. Okay. Second stage serrated lines, that is bone resorption tarotu bone. While bone formation is increased. Line molotu. Third stage the adaptation again normal bone resorption.
Balance normal.
Bone resorption, bone formation becomes normal in the periodontal tissue. But first third the difference in the normal and adaptation third stage. In both cases the resorption and formation are equal, but changes. Okay, in the changes third stage
PDL widen ആയിട്ടുണ്ട്. Space.
for main changes PDL widen the funnel shape, particularly in the crestal region.
പിന്നെ angular bone defects വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്.
Yes, angular bone defect കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ട്. First is periodontal ligament fibers widen, particularly in the coronal region.
Funnel shaped widen.
Second is there is also angular bony defect. This is without the attachment loss of
Pocket formation.
without attachment loss and pocket formation.
Pocket formation.
Okay, clear analo?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The trauma from occlusion, the opposite to if there is occlusion forces are reduced. So that also leads to some changes in the periodontium. Suppose a tooth and antagonist missing, there is reduced masticatory forces. Changes in the periodontal changes. This is opposite of what happens in trauma from occlusion. Occlusive forces are reduced, then it leads to thinning of the periodontal ligament, atrophy of the fibers, porosis of the alveolar bone and reduction in the bone height. Hypofunction can result from open bite relationship. Occlusal contact illengi hypofunction varam. Absence of opposite teeth extracted anangi, there is no occlusal forces on the tooth. So absence of functional antagonist, unilateral chewing habits. One side in matram chew cheyanundagi, on the opposite side there is lack of occlusal forces. So there is changes in the supportive periodontal tissues which are opposite of trauma occlusion. Okay, the changes are
Thinning of PDL.
Thinning of PDL. Trauma occlusion is increased width of the
Widening of PDL.
Wide.
only.
Widening of PDL.
Okay. Then atrophy of the fibers.
Fibers.
What is bone density in the kudu koreyo?
Bone density.
Correct.
Trauma buttressing bone formation. Bone density kudanalla sadhyamundu. Non-functional teeth anangi the bone density
കുറവായിട്ടുള്ള bone
bone density correct. Now reversibility of traumatic lesions. So trauma of occlusion, there is injury to the periodontium. So these changes in periodontium is reversible, meaning in the to remove the causative increased forces.
Tooth may return to the normal.
Yeah, periodontium, periodontium will return to the normal condition. So when trauma is artificially induced in experimental animals, the tooth move away or intrude into the jaw. When the impact of the artificially created force is relieved, the tissue undergoes repair. So this occurs in periodontium where there is no inflammation. Okay, inflammation in the case, either the tooth moves away, traumatic occlusion, traumatic forces reduce the ability, tooth may move away from the position, or if the forces are reduced by selective grinding or whatever way, tooth periodontium will return to normal. But if there is presence of inflammation, periodontitis and gingivitis and periodontitis undangi, the result of plaque accumulation may impair the reversibility of traumatic lesion. Okay, so presence of plaque and inflammation. If there is, if inflammation is present in trauma of occlusion, the injury may not be completely reversed. Clear or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, effect of trauma from occlusion, marginal periodontitis. ഇതിൽ കുറെ കോൺട്രവേഴ്സീസ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. രണ്ട് കോൺസെപ്റ്റ്സ് പറയാറുണ്ട്, ഗ്ലിക്മാൻസ് കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് ആൻഡ് മിയർഹോഗ്സ് കോൺസെപ്റ്റ്. ഏത് ടൈപ്പ് ഫോഴ്സസ് കൂടുതൽ നമുക്ക് ഈ നോർമൽ മാസ്റ്റിഗേറ്റീവ് ഫോഴ്സസ് ആണെങ്കിൽ ഏത് ഡയറക്ഷനിലായിരിക്കും?
Along the long axis of tooth.
Yeah, usually along the long axis of the teeth. These are very well balanced by the periodontium. Okay, periodontal, either type periodontal ligament fibers are resisting forces along the long axis of the tooth. Which principal fibers are involved in resisting the forces?
Oblique fibers or no?
Yeah, oblique group of fibers, principal fibers. Okay. So, Kodala, the type fibers are, you see?
Oblique.
Fibers. So, they Kodala majority are oblique group of principal fibers. They are able to best resist the occlusion forces. But trauma occlusion, different type of force are കാണാൻ. So this is known as jiggling type of forces. So jiggling type of forces meaning the basically they are lateral forces which act alternatively in opposite direction. Okay. So one moment they may be acting from the buccal direction, other moment they may be acting in from the lingual direction. So alternatively in opposite direction. So this type of forces are seen in trauma of occlusion. They are known as jiggling type of forces. So this type of forces is
Jiggling type of forces.
so this type of forces are not able to resist by periodontal ligament fibers. Right? So this will be harmful. So experimentally, namaka engne idu produce or animal model le namaka study cheyanengil if we want to use the jiggling type of forces engne namaka cheyan pattum. നമുക്ക് ഒരു ക്രൗൺ കൊടുക്കാം ടൂത്തിൽ animal model suppose we want to reproduce trauma of occlusion study ചെയ്യാമെങ്കിൽ trauma of occlusion reproduce ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ we can give a high crown plus we can give one orthodontic appliance high crown with orthodontic appliance high crown കാരണം എന്തായിരിക്കും there is increased forces along long axis of the tooth because of the high forces tooth will try to move to a different direction. Because of the orthodontic appliance, the tooth will come back to the original position. So this type of appliance setup will produce trauma of occlusion in experimental animals. Second is use of interdental wedges. So wedges, wooden wedges, interdental region, first is applied in the mesial region. Then after 2 days, it is applied in the distal region. So alternatively, the forces are interchanged. Mesially forces, then distally. Clear or not? So this also can produce jiggling type of forces. Clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Study animal രണ്ട് കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് ഉള്ളത് ഇപ്പൊ കൂടുതൽ അക്സെപ്റ്റഡ് ഗ്ലിക്മാൻസ് കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് രണ്ട് കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ട് ഗ്ലിക്മാൻ കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് ആൻഡ് ബിയർ ഹോക്സ് കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് മെയിൻ ആയിട്ട് രണ്ട് കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് ഓക്കെ ദിസ് ബേസ്ഡ് ഓൺ അനിമൽ സ്റ്റഡീസ് ഗ്ലിക്മാൻസ് കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് ഇപ്പൊ കൂടുതലും അക്സെപ്റ്റഡ് ഓക്കെ രണ്ടും കോൺട്രാഡിക്ടറി ആണ് സോ ഫസ്റ്റ് ഈസ് വിൽ സീ Glickman's concept. So according to Glickman, as long as inflammation is confined to the gingiva, the inflammatory process is not affected by occlusive forces. When inflammation extends from the gingiva into the supporting periodontal tissues, plaque-induced gingival inflammation enters the zone that is influenced by occlusion. Glickman has called the zone of co-destruction. So basically, Glickman has divided the periodontium into two zones. First is a zone of irritation. Zone of irritation evade mere extend cheyum. So irritation is caused by plaque.
Gingival margin.
So basically zone of irritation in the gingiva. Okay. In the gingiva. Trauma of occlusion is a region affected in a periodontium. It doesn't affect the gingiva. Is a region affected trauma of occlusion.
Periodontal fibers.
Percussion.
Periodontal ligament alveolar
area.
bone.
Yes, periodontal ligament fibers and
Alveolar bone.
okay. ഈ രണ്ട് സ്ട്രക്ചേഴ്സ് ആ മെയിൻ ആയിട്ട് എഫക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ട്രോമ ഓഫ് ഓക്ലൂഷൻ. ഇപ്പൊ ഗ്ലിക്മാൻ എന്താ പറയുന്നത്?
ജിഞ്ചൈവേ തന്നെ ഇൻഫ്ലമേഷൻ കൺഫൈൻഡ് ആയിട്ടിരിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ട്രോമ ഓഫ് ഓക്ലൂഷൻ വിൽ നോട്ട് കോസ് എനി ഹാം.
Okay. Or if there is no inflammation, inflammation illangi trauma of occlusion is not that severe.
Harmless.
Is harmless. Completely reversible. Forces increase, forces remove. It will be completely reversible.
Reversible.
But is present. So because of the inflammation in the gingiva, there is increased chance that because of the changes in the periodontal ligament. Periodontal ligament changes on the alveolar bone changes. Because of the changes in the periodontal ligament and alveolar bone, there is increased chance that the inflammation in the gingiva will spread to the deeper periodontal structures. There is increased chance of periodontal destruction if gingival inflammation is present along with the trauma of occlusion. Clear or no?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
So when the inflammation in the gingiva starts spreading into the deeper periodontal structures, this zone is known as
Zone of co-destruction.
zone of co-destruction. Zone of co-destruction. Okay. So run the zone zone of irritation confined to the gingiva. Then trauma of occlusion is present. There will be, along with the inflammation of gingiva, there is a zone of co-destruction. Okay.
Co-destruction.
Clear or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, trauma for occlusion tends to change the shape of the alveolar crest. The change in shape consists of widening of the marginal periodontal ligament space, narrowing of the interproximal alveolar bone, and lipping. Trauma for occlusion does not initiate gingivitis or periodontal pocket. Okay, so if there is no calculus, there is good oral hygiene, there is no subgingival plaque. Even if trauma for occlusion is present, there won't be any gingivitis or attachment loss or periodontal pocket. Okay. The presence of inflammation, however, the changes in the shape of the alveolar crest may be conducive to alveolar bone loss, and existing pocket may become intrabony. Clear or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in the absence of inflammation, trauma for occlusion, only destruction happens in the angular bone loss. If periodontal ligaments changes or angular defect is not associated with attachment loss or pocket formation. But in the presence of inflammation, there is also, in addition to angular bone loss and widening of periodontal ligament space, there is also there may be also attachment loss and pocket formation. Thus, trauma for occlusion is an additional risk factor for progression and severity of periodontitis. Clear or not? So first is trauma for occlusion doesn't cause gingivitis and periodontitis, but it's only a additional risk factors for progression and severity of periodontitis. This is known as the Glickman's concept. So this is accepted concept. Clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Clear. Okay. One concept is Weierhaus concept. Weierhaus in 1979 examined autopsy specimen and measured the distance between subgingival plaque and gingival inflammation and alveolar bone. So he concluded that there is no relationship between trauma for occlusion and progression of marginal periodontitis. So angular bone defect seen in trauma for occlusion, according to him, was due to change in the position of the subgingival plaque. Subgingival plaque is coronal, there won't be any angular bone defect. Because of the trauma for occlusion, tooth position is changed. So tooth may drift mesially or distally. The position of the subgingival plaque is changed. So this change in the subgingival plaque produces the angular bone. Clear or not?
Sir.
So there is no relation between trauma of occlusion and progression of marginal periodontitis. Just opposite of Glickman's concept. So subgingival plaque suppose distance between subgingival plaque and alveolar bone is less, there will be bone resorption. Radius of action അറിയാലോ. Radius of action. How much is the radius of action? Hmm, 1.5 to 2 millimeter. Distance between the subgingival plaque and the bone surface, it is known as radius of action. So this range there will be bone resorption. So there is distance between plaque and the alveolar bone is between 1.5 to 2 millimeter. There will be bone resorption. Clear or not?
As the
Angular bone defect is produced by change in the position of the subgingival plaque. Subgingival plaque, if it goes more apically, okay, there is formation of angular defect. Clear on a run the concept. Glickman concept, I mean it. When I other concepts are also there, like one is changes in the pathway of spread of inflammation. Normal pathway in the gingivitis, when it progresses to periodontitis, what is the pathway of spread of inflammation? Normal pathway in the three pathways are there. Main pathway is through the center of the interdental crest. Second is along the surface of the cortical plates. Third is into the periodontal ligaments. So three pathways are there. Main first pathway, center of the interdental crest. Without trauma flow occlusion, it is usually to the center of the interdental crest. Basically along the blood vessels. So first, in the periodontal disease, gingivitis happens. Then there is involvement of the periodontal ligament and alveolar bone. This conversion or spread happens along the blood vessels. Okay. First pathway, main pathway, normally without trauma of occlusion, it is through the interdental crest. But in the presence of trauma of occlusion, the main pathway is directly into the periodontal ligament. Okay, so that is another theory. Clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, three pathways is the spread of inflammation from gingiva to periodontal structures.
to the center of
Center of alveolar crest along the cortical bone.
Through the
bone plates.
periodontal ligaments.
Surface of the second is surface of the
Cortical.
plates. But is directly to the periodontal ligament space. So trauma of occlusion there will
Periodontal ligaments.
directly into the caudalum and directly into the periodontal ligament because of the funnel shape widening of the
Periodontal ligament.
with angular defects. The spread may directly into the periodontal. So caudal destruction now. So that is another theory. Another theory is trauma-induced regions of root resorption may offer areas of plaque and calcosum. So trauma-induced region of bone resorption on down, root surface exposed down. So these areas provide more surface of plaque and calculus accumulation. Then another concept is increased mobility in trauma of occlusion may have a pumping effect on the plaque metabolites, thereby increasing the diffusion. So mobility karanam pumping plaque metabolites caudalum, gingivalum,
Diffuse.
diffuse on sadhya. So these are other concepts. Main concept is
Glickman's concept.
Glickman concept.
Glickman's concept.
ശരിക്കും മനസ്സിലാക്കണം Glickman's concept. അതിൽ ഡൗട്ട് ഉണ്ടോ എന്തെങ്കിലും?
ഇല്ല സർ.
Glickman's concept here. Clinical features of trauma of occlusion. So most common clinical feature in the it is
Mobility.
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 So basically, that's due to widening of the periodontal ligament space, which occur during the final stage. Remodeling stage, there is widening of the periodontal ligament space to tooth mobility. This type of mobility is not considered pathological, since it is only a adaptive remodeling.
Adaptation.
If it progressively worsen, then it may be considered pathological. The tooth, there is periodontal ligament necrosis or abscess formation. The situation worsens, then the mobility may be considered pathological. Clinically, anterior region test anterior region, if you want to
finger pressure കൊടുത്തിട്ട് bite ചെയ്യാൻ.
Finger gloves finger you have to place over the alveolar mucosa. Alveolar mucosa, anterior region alveolar mucosa you have to ask the patient to chew.
Chew.
If you feel vibration, that means the Fremitus test
Positive.
and there
Positive.
is trauma of occlusion. Can be done.
Test as positive.
It is there.
You can do it in the anterior region. Okay. In a radiographs edukam. So radiographically endake changes kaana pattum.
Periodontal widening.
Widening of PDL
space.
Widening.
പിന്നെ angular bone defects.
പിന്നെ angular bony defects കാണാൻ പറ്റും, periodontal ligament widening കാണാൻ പറ്റും, പിന്നെ
Thinning of
chronic ആണെങ്കിൽ
buttressing bone ലൊക്കെ increased density കാണാൻ പറ്റുമോ?
yes, increased density കാണാൻ പറ്റും. Later stages of the അതാണെങ്കിൽ we see
Formative stage of
buttressing bone formation ഒക്കെ radiography increased thickness, radio density ഒക്കെ increase ഉണ്ടാവും. Also there is thickening of the lamina dura in the apical region. Then vertical rather than horizontal. So angular bony defects. You can see angular bony defects. Then radiolucency and condensation of the alveolar bone. In some areas we can see resorption. Resorptional area there may be radiolucency. Then buttressing bone formation region there may be condensation of the alveolar bone. There may also be root resorption. In chronic cases like there may be root resorption. Now management of trauma of occlusion. So different cases different ഇതിൽ manage ചെയ്യാൻ. ഏതായാലും നമുക്ക് we have to achieve control of periodontal inflammation. So Glickman concept കണ്ട് അല്ലേ, there is inflammation. There is high chance that there will be attachment loss and pocket formation. Also there is core destruction ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ periodontal ligament changes because of trauma of occlusion. There is high chance of periodontal destruction, attachment loss and pocket formation. So first എന്താ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്, there is periodontal inflammation ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ we have to control the periodontal inflammation. Acute trauma of occlusion ആണെങ്കിൽ main cause in the acute trauma of occlusion.
high points ഒക്കെ കണ്ടുപിടിച്ച്
Yeah, if restorations high points, there is high filling ഒക്കെ ആണെങ്കിൽ we can do selective grinding. Suppose acute trauma of occlusion is due to biting on some hard stone or something. ചെയ്യേണ്ട ആവശ്യമില്ല, ഒബ്സർവ് ചെയ്താൽ മതി, analgesic കൊടുക്കാം. High points due to restorations ആണെങ്കിൽ we can do
Selective grinding.
Selective grinding. So high points ഒക്കെ കണ്ടുപിടിച്ച് we can reduce the restoration. Same way for prosthetic appliance ആണ് high points ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ occlusion interference ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ we have to adjust the appliance, prosthetic appliance. Clear ആണോ?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now chronic trauma of occlusion എന്താ? മെയിൻ ആയിട്ട് പാരാഫങ്ഷണൽ ഹാബിറ്റ്സിലെ കാണാൻ പറ്റും ബ്രക്സിസം ക്ലഞ്ചിങ് സോ അതിന്റെ ട്രീറ്റ്മെന്റ് ചെയ്യണം സോ യൂസ് ഓഫ് നൈറ്റ് ഗാർഡ്സ് ആൻഡ് occlusal splints.
Please.
Okay, primary trauma of occlusion again may be caused by high fillings.
High occlusion.
Okay, high fillings or sudden biting of on hard substance or prosthetic appliances. For the high fillings ഒക്കെ ആണെങ്കിൽ you can go for
Selective grinding.
Secondary trauma of occlusion, there is reduced periodontal support. Okay, there is attachment loss, the periodontal support is reduced. അങ്ങനത്തെ കേസിൽ എന്താ കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യാം? We can use dental splints. സ്പ്ലിന്റ് ചെയ്ത് മൊബൈൽ ടീത്തിനൊക്കെ സ്പ്ലിന്റ് ചെയ്യാം ടീത്ത്. സോ സ്പ്ലിന്റ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ എന്താ അഡ്വാൻറ്റേജ് എന്താ?
Force
Forces equally distributed.
Okay, so forces are distributed to a group of teeth. So trauma of occlusion affected tooth forces reduce it. So we can consider using a dental splint. Clear now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. This is trauma of occlusion. Any doubts on that?
No, sir.
എല്ലാവർക്കും കാണാൻ പറ്റിയായിരുന്നോ?
കാണാൻ പറ്റി.
കാണാൻ പറ്റിയായിരുന്നു.
ഇത് റെക്കോർഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഇത് യൂട്യൂബിൽ ഇടാൻ നോക്കാം. ആർക്കെങ്കിലും കാണാൻ പറ്റിയില്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒന്ന് നോക്കിയാൽ മതി.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
പവർ പോയിന്റ് ഗൂഗിൾ ക്ലാസ് റൂമിൽ ഇട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഒരു അസസ്മെന്റ് ഉണ്ട്, അത് സബ്മിറ്റ് ബൈ സൺഡേ എല്ലാവരും സബ്മിറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം.
സർ പവർ
Okay, sir.
പോയിന്റ് PDF ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ ഇട്ട് തരാമോ? ഡൗൺലോഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല.
ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ ഇടണം.
അത് ഗൂഗിൾ ക്ലാസ് റൂമിൽ ഡൗൺലോഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല.
ഗൂഗിൾ ക്ലാസ് റൂമിൽ നിന്ന് ഡൗൺലോഡ് ചെയ്യാം. ഗ്രൂപ്പ് വേണമെങ്കിൽ ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ ഇടാം. ഗൂഗിൾ ക്ലാസ് റൂമിൽ
ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ
എക്സാം സമയത്ത് പഠിക്കാൻ മറ്റേ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ഡൗൺലോഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല.
ഓക്കെ
ഡൗൺലോഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല ഗൂഗിൾ ക്ലാസ്.
ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ
സർ അതുപോലെ ജിഞ്ചി വ്യക്തിമി കൂടെ ഒന്ന് ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ ഇട്ട് തരാമോ?
ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ ഇടാം. പവർ പോയിന്റ്സ് ഞാൻ ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ ഇടാം. ബുക്സ് ഒക്കെ ഡൗൺലോഡ്
മതി.
അതും വേണമെങ്കിൽ ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ ഇടാം.
ബുക്സ് പറ്റില്ല സർ, ഡൗൺലോഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ
പറ്റില്ല. അപ്പൊ ബുക്സ്
കുറച്ച് പേജ് മാത്രമേ കാണാൻ പറ്റത്തുള്ളൂ സർ. പ്രിവ്യൂ ചെയ്യാൻ അത്രേ പറ്റുള്ളൂ എന്ന് പറയും. വലിയ സൈസ് ആണ്, ക്ലാസ് റൂമിൽ നിന്ന് എടുക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല.
ക്ലാസ് റൂമിൽ എടുക്കാൻ പറ്റും. എന്നാൽ ഞാൻ അതെല്ലാം പവർ പോയിന്റ്സും PDF ഒക്കെ വാട്സാപ്പ് ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ ഇടാം.
ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ. ഓക്കെ സർ.
താങ്ക് യു സർ.
മറ്റേ അസസ്മെന്റ് ബൈ സൺഡേ എല്ലാവരും സബ്മിറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം.
Okay, sir.
ഓക്കെ സർ.
ഇത് ക്ലിയർ ആണല്ലോ? എന്തെങ്കിലും ഡൗട്ട് ഒന്നും ഇല്ല?
മനസ്സിലായിട്ടുണ്ട് സർ.
മനസ്സിലായി സർ.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
താങ്ക് യു സർ.
താങ്ക് യു.
Thank you, sir.
നെക്സ്റ്റ് ക്ലാസ് നമുക്ക് മൺഡേ സൺഡേ ഓർ മൺഡേ ചെയ്യാം. നെക്സ്റ്റ് ക്ലാസ്.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.